Yeah, you heard me. Am I the ass for not sharing the surprises in the dingy house that was my share of the inheritance? Throw away because I have family on my main. I, 37F, have two siblings, 43M and 29F. That's actually a pretty big gap between each of them. Anyways, for the sake of the post, I will call them Mason and Brittany. Our father died when we were young. Due to an undiagnosed heart problem, his parents had gifted them an old family homestead on a lot of land at their wedding, and helped a lot to keep our family above water before they passed. Our mother finally found her feet after about 5 years of deep depression and did well for our family, but she was also very frugal. We had good clothing but no fancy vacations. Our mother had ignored signs of bad health for years, even when we tried to get her to go see someone for it. She passed away recently due to late stage cancer, leaving us with the lot. My siblings each got more than $150,000 in money, sentimental but expensive items, and furniture. I did not get the money. I received the house, the land, and some items. The house and land, which had been sold off for a bit more over the years due to my mom's declining health and inability to properly tend for it, is worth far below the $150,000 my siblings received. I had moved in with mother near her end, and it really only was supposed to be temporary, as I believed the house would be sold after her passing and the money split three ways. I'd already had a plan to roommate with a friend and her family after mom's death to make that process go more smoothly. Most of my stuff has been sitting in storage for almost a year. As the only one who worked from home, I could watch the home health workers and nurses to make sure they were being kind, doing their job, and not stealing. Mostly it was to make sure they treated my mother with respect and kindness, but my brother did worry about someone walking off with her wedding ring since she was so attached to it. We all agreed for it to be placed in with her ashes, so I made a little setup and took care of her. My siblings came by frequently, 3 to 6 times a week, each of them. Mason had two kids and Brittany only had one, but they visited as well, though not as much near the end because it was hard for them. So in the weeks leading up to her death, my mother had me pack up what items went to who in large boxes and set them off to the side. My siblings hated me doing this, but understood it was what she wanted. The will was read, they checked their boxes to make sure my mom didn't miss anything when telling me to pack, and they left me to my house. Weeks passed, and I finally felt like I could start doing things to the house. Now, I did say the house was dingy. It was not worth $150,000, but the housing market's so crazy, so I thought it was a bit of luck. It needs repairs, the roof, the chimney, the water heater, some pipes, the doors and windows for heating purposes, and everything inside is so darkly painted or made of wood that just sucks out all of the light. I immediately had people checking the roof, the chimney, and the water heater. My siblings offered to lend me money, but I declined as I'd been saving for a while to buy an apartment or something small since it was only me. I could also rent rooms for local college students to get some of that money back. I picked out paints for different rooms, but decided to leave the wood flooring as I started going through everything in the house, which had been specifically left to me as stated in the will. I began finding things, money in books, and there are so many books. Money taped under beds, money folded into the fancy sheets, money hidden in the teapot and cups that had been passed down in the family, which we had never been allowed to touch for fear that we might break it. I found jewelry in different boxes, hidden in the attic, the vents, and sock drawers. Kind of crazy that there was stuff hidden in the vents. Some
Yeah,
of
it's
it
kind of
was so
wild.
gaudy that it had to be costume, but I put it all together. Thank goodness I did and took it to be appraised. The worth of the jewelry is nearly half of what my siblings got. Even the would-be costume jewelry is worth something. Even now, I'm still finding things. I found antique items, fancy watches, untouched clothing, and bags with price tags still on them. Belts and shoes still in their boxes. All of this was tucked away, apparently hidden and not talked about. Some of the clothing still had receipts, and since neither I nor my sister can wear them, I took them back to see if I could get refunds or started selling them online. Since again, everything left in the house was specifically left to me. I took the cash and used it to help pay for immediate repairs, and it almost covered the whole thing. I looked through the jewelry and kept what I like, which was very little, as I'm not into that sort of thing, and put aside some for my sister and my brother's daughter. I liquidated the rest and put that into savings. I also put aside some of the bags and belts and watches for my siblings and their family. We can't fit the clothing, but those things are easier to swap around. I invited everyone and gifted them the items, telling them I had found them while I was cleaning everything out and thought they might like them. Everyone was happy to get them, and there wasn't much bickering among the kids. They asked what else I found, and I explained the jewelry I kept and the clothing I was selling off. My brother got a weird look on his face and asked if I had found any money. I told him I had, but tried to downplay it as it was mostly change and loose bills. He asked to see the money, and I grabbed a giant water refill container that I had started storing all the coins in. He told me that was a lot of coins and asked if I was going to use it for the laundromat since I left them all loose. I rolled my eyes because I had a washer-dryer set, and I told him there was no point in cashing them in till I cleaned the whole house. He told me to let them know so we could all split that and the money I got from selling the clothing. When I asked why, he said so we can split it. I asked him why would I split it when they had all gotten large cash inheritance, sentimental and expensive things, and some other things. I literally got the house, the problems, the cleanup, and the nice things I did find that I thought they might like. I handed over without being asked to. He told me that I didn't need to be a greedy asshole about it and to never mind. My sister gave me the side eye but didn't say anything. But I felt guilty for misleading how much I actually found, even though it was all put towards making the house better. To be clear, all of my mother's debts were paid, and she had set money aside for the funeral service and cremation. So am I the asshole?
No.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you.
Instantly, it's the brother's the a-hole, man. Like, he's like, he got 125,000 or more, right? Like, I don't remember.
150K sentimental things and some expensive items. So it's like, dude,
yeah, like
you can go sell the stuff that you got as well. It's like, I got the house, which is worth, according to them, way less than 150K. So it's like, I got the other stuff in the house too. Like that's what's included.
Yeah, like, well, that's the other thing is like she specifically asked him to put stuff to the side. So like she went out of her way before she died to be like, hey, give this stuff to them before.
Yeah, and to split it all up.
Yeah. So
now, maybe the mother didn't know how much cash was left in the house because it sounds like a lot of it was kind of forgotten about. But like, I would be curious to know how much. Because, yeah, okay, it's enough to do repairs and stuff. But, like, I don't think it's like, they found $100,000.
He said he got, like, half of what they had. So he got, like, 775K worth out of all the jewelry and random bits and baubles that he found. So, like, overall, he got half the money they did through liquidating those items, and then who knows how much he spent on repairs though, because he said he spent a majority of it on the repairs.
Did they say they found half? I don't even remember reading that part. The worth of jewelry is nearly half of what my siblings got. Yeah, so I mean, like, maybe they edged out a little bit, but also, like, the siblings got sentimental items and expensive items. I don't think... I agree with you. I don't think they're the asshole. Now, if they found, like, $1 million cash, and it's, like, very clear that, like, the mom forgot it, but was trying to split things off evenly, then, like, yeah, maybe split that a little bit more. But, like...
Well, that's not the case,
They didn't even get as much as the other siblings got, and the house is worth quote-unquote far less. Like, I think it's fine.
That's the thing, is like he like, it's just weird. Like, it seemed like the brother just was getting greedy.
A little bit. And even the sister gave some side eye. But here, there's an update, AJ. There's an update. September 11th, 2024. Firstly, I wanted to thank everyone for the kind words and bits of advice. Felt much better after reading so many of the not the asshole comments. I also took to heart the shut your mouth comments, even if a few of them seemed a little rude. Yeah, I kind of agree. Like, don't need to really talk about it that much. Like, you know what I mean? Unless it was like a crazy amount of time, you can just be like, I found some stuff. Anyways.
Well, that's the thing, is like, as soon as you start saying, like, because that's probably what made his brother go, oh, well, jewelry, huh? Yeah. He's like, oh.
Like, you didn't have to say, like, oh, yeah, I found a bunch of jewelry and I've been selling it, and I found this money and I've been selling it. Like, you could have just said, like, yeah, like, here's a bunch of the loose change that I've been finding, and, like, here's some of the clothing, so that we can all get it.
Yeah.
But
Like,
my house still feels weird saying and typing this. Had already outside cameras due to when I moved in and installed them, but I did go and add more to the property line and inside the house in key spots and around the garage. I also put up no trespassing signs while I look through companies that do proper fences. The property is just small enough that I can swing a fence. I did change the locks as soon as I read the advice to do so. Hadn't thought about that since I work from home. Mom also kept a spare hidden in a plant because my sister used to lose everything constantly, so I made sure to remove it and not replace it with a new one. It's a good thing I did all of this because 2 days after my initial post, I had to run into town for grocery and a few quick errands. I live on the outskirts with neighbors, a bit of distance either way, so they wouldn't notice anyone stopping by, and I got a notification on my phone about movement. And I checked it because I wasn't expecting any packages. My brother was getting out of his car and looked around and checked the windows. He tried his key in the door and got upset when it didn't work. He checked the flower pot and kicked it over. The cameras around the house let me communicate, so I just said, "That was rude," into the speaker. He jumped and spun around to see nothing. I asked him what he wanted, and he demanded to know why I put cameras. And I said, "Because I'm a single woman living in the woods, you dumb shit." And he shifted from foot to foot before saying he would be back so we could talk, and he left. I messaged the video.
That, like, it's his.
Pardon?
Like it's a sister. Like the brother's being all weird to his sister.
Like it's clear, like the brother was trying to sneak into the house. Like he didn't knock that. Like he clearly knew the sister was gone somehow, and was like, I don't know. I guess trying to find like some jewelry or money. This brother is the greedy one. Jeez. I messaged the video evidence of him trying to get in while I wasn't home to him, his wife, my sister, and her fiance with the message I sent. I changed the locks because I don't know who mom gave them out to, like her friends, and I have cameras. Because of this attempt to get in while I'm not home, no one will be getting the new key. I don't just randomly try to get into your home when you're not home. He sent me a lot of nasty text after that, trying to shame me for doing that. I told him he shouldn't be doing things he doesn't want others to know about, and that it's a reflection on him, not me. He told me I was a bitch and blocked me. My sister thinks I went too far by telling his wife because she's threatening to take the kids to her mom's, and she thinks I went too far by showing her fiance because now he doesn't want him to have keys to theirs for emergencies. Honestly, I think both are kind of fair reactions. His wife threatening to take the kids to her mom's is interesting. I'm guessing him and his wife fought, and like the brother's trying to be greedy, and his wife's like, "Yo, chill."
Well, it's not even the greedy part at that point, like, because he got sent that, and then she probably confronted him, like, "What are you doing going to your sister's house like that?"
Yeah.
And he was like, he probably got all power trippy and was like, I can do whatever I want, bro. It's my mom's house, not her house." DDD, and he's like, "You're being a freak."
True, I could see that. Update 2, September 14th, 2024. Firstly, thanks to everyone who made new comments and gave more advice. I particularly enjoyed the entire mini thread about the geese guards. Super amazing and cute idea, but I have a terrible fear of birds, so I'm adopting a bonded pair of doggos from my local shelter. Once my name clears from the cruel to animals list of these gross people aren't allowed to adopt list, I can take them home. No pictures yet, I'm afraid. I really wasn't set on making another post, or if I did, it would be when this is all washed and done. I did start a paper trail with both the police and a lawyer who's a family friend. I documented the attempted break-in, but didn't press charges, but had them speak with my brother and had him put on a notice. He ended up getting new phone numbers, yes, with an S, to contact me, to berate me, and shame me for sticking those pigs on him. I took all of those messages to the lawyer and sent off a few things. That's crazy. A cease and desist for the alarming number of calls, texts, and social media DMs and emails he sent me. Some were full rage about how I took his kids from him, and the others were about he knew you rat found money in the house. Not once did he mention the post, and honestly, I'm done with him. That I don't care if he sees this, because Lawrence says you can't touch this, Mason. Fake name. Anyway, my sister Brittany, fake name, asked me out to coffee and apologized for taking Mason's side. She just didn't want friction and thought the three of us could have worked this out together instead of getting others involved. She and her fiance have the understanding that he handles his family and she does hers, I guess for like disputes and things. So by sending it to him, before she had a chance to even react to it, it felt overstepping because I didn't give her the chance to literally do anything before her fiance was losing his mind. I did apologize because I hadn't thought about it like that. I asked her what she would have done if I had just sent her the video, and she said she would have sat on it for like a day to think about it, and then probably would have asked me for more information and talked to him to see what the hell he was thinking. She also said I was a moron for saying the gifts I had given everyone had been from the house. I should have said something about a bonus at work or something. I have no reason to trust her, but it makes sense, so I'm going to cautiously keep in mind that she does have a harder time getting thoughts and emotions across in a normal way. Our parents weren't into the whole test your child for XYZ, so she's struggling with the idea of being tested for certain neurodivergent tendencies. All I said was, all this said, I found something really weird and I don't want to open it. In the basement, tucked far into the corner, buried behind bookshelves and under boxes and boxes of things in an ancient-looking freezer. It was and still is plugged in. It's running. It was buried in it and dusty in a way that I know there's no edible food inside of it. But you ever get that feeling that something just isn't right? Do I open it? Do I pretend I never saw it? Do I have someone else open it? Any ideas about why it was hidden? My one friend joked that it was my grandfather's game box and his decades-old deer inside of it. Is that a thing? Question mark. Interesting. Crazy that the brother just went full-blown psycho.
I mean, it
just seems like every time there's been an escalation where it's like, okay, at a certain point, somebody reasonable will be like, okay, this is too much. Like, I gotta back off. He goes, no, I'm right.
It's a problem with narcissists.
Oh, brother, there are updates. We got an update 3.
Jesus.
September 15th. So what is this? Like a day later after the September 14th update. I wanted to thank everyone for the words of advice and ideas on how to go about finding out what's in the freezer. I also have a mini update on Mason, fake name. I will get the freezer out of the way because I know so many are eager to hear about it. I called over my lawyer friend, Lawrence, fake name, neat play on words, and explained that I needed more information on a few things but would need a house call because some of the contractors coming and going. When he arrived and no one was there, he looked annoyed until I explained the freezer. He told me if we found a body, he was bailing, but laughed as we went down to the basement. This was all yesterday. We put on gloves and the masks. He held the camera and said all this identifying stuff like date, time, address, etc. And I opened it. Inside were important documents sealed in a lot of plastic. There were also old bottles of moonshine, frozen pressed flowers in a book with dates, a bit of cash, coins specifically, and an ancient-looking porcelain doll. The documents were birth certificates and death certificates going quite a while back. It looks like I would have another sibling. I would have had another sibling if they had lived, and I would have had 3 more aunts if they had lived, and a few other even older relatives. That's crazy.
Holy.
The sibling thing's crazy to not know about. But
I mean, I don't think it's like normal thing in a family to be like, oh, by the way, we had a miscarriage. Or,
yeah.
like,
well, no, it's not a miscarriage because it's birth certificates
you know?
and death certificates. So it was it was probably an infant death, which is very unfortunate.
Yeah, exactly. So that's like,
that's fair.
I just don't think like most people would
share that
their kids about it. Yeah, even if you're growing up, like, because that's just something.
Yeah. Well, no, for some reason I just thought for some reason I thought the sibling might have been a little bit older, but from the thought process of like it was probably an infant death before any of the children were born, so like it makes sense that it wasn't really something that any of them knew about. Cause they're like, how old are they? Like 20 something or like early 30s. So like it's one of those things where like if it was something the other siblings had known about, they probably would have known about, you know what I mean? But anyways, we figured the flowers were from funerals or services, considering the dates attached to the pages the flowers were pressed. The bottles, jars really, of moonshine looked old. The only reason I knew it was moonshine was thanks to Lawrence. He said alcohol doesn't usually freeze, and he opened it and told me based on the smell. The coins will be appraised very soon, as I'm still going through all the other coins I found in the curtains and other odd places. Thank you to the Redditors who told me to look in the curtains. Dude, coins and curtains? Is that a thing?
No idea.
Huh.
I
As for
mean,
the... Yeah.
it could be like at the bottom of the curtains, like how they used to weight the curtains. People could probably swap out the
Oh.
weights for coins as like
Interesting.
a hiding place.
Interesting. Okay.
Just the only thing I can think of.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense as an idea. That does make sense. Where was I? As the doll, it looks very old, but in good condition. It was in a box and wrapped with cloth, old newspapers, and more. Lawrence thinks the hair on its head is real and human. That's disgusting. Hate that.
Oof.
Because it certainly isn't synthetic. I had to dry it off after it thawed, and there's a name smudged on its foot. It's sitting on my living room coffee table right now. No, thank you. I'm not sure what to do
Ew.
with it. The newspapers give us vague dates of a time frame it was put away, and it's old. On to Mason. His wife had filed for divorce? That's crazy. She's going for full custody. She has the kids with her at her mother's. She reached out to me and explained that Mason told her the only thing left was the house and it was willed to all three of them and that he was waiting for me to buy out his part of the house. But when I had sent that message, something seemed like weird, and she started to dig. So he didn't even tell her about the $150,000 that he got.
That's crazy. So he straight up lied about
Everything.
that it was the house to
That's
her, and then
crazy. No wonder she's going for divorce. Mason has maxed out all their credit cards and the house is now on reverse mortgage when it had been paid off. So he took a mortgage, he maxed out all his credit cards, and he opened a few credit cards in her name. He didn't use that quote-unquote life-changing money left to him to pay off any of that. She isn't sure where the money went, but when she locked down her credit, it left him unable to use the cards he took out in her name, and it sparked a massive fight. I can't even begin to imagine where where the money has gone. He doesn't have new cars, new devices, new anything. Dude.
100% he gambled it.
Drugs, like it's gone to some reckless things. 100%.
Nah, like
Probably gambling. You're probably right.
in the short time frame, like
To spend a lot of money, yeah, you kind of need to gamble.
Like unless he's getting the purest of the pure, like he flew down for
he's going on trips. He's going on tourism trips for drugs.
Yeah, like
no. You're probably right. Probably gambling. That or he has a secret family.
Yeah, that's why I took out all the money so he can give it to his secret wife.
Nah, holy, that's crazy. Their two kids, 14F and 10M, are both old enough to understand what's going on. They won't talk to him until he tells them why they are losing their childhood home, why he hurt their mom, and where all the money is. My niece knows all the accounts are empty, including her college account, and she's furious.
Oh,
my nephew isn't as worried about college. Understandable.
Dude, he's like, yeah, it is what it is, bro.
Well, he's 10. He's like, brother, I'm not thinking about college. It's in like a decade. The niece, though, that's unfortunate. Because when you're at 14, like you're at the age that like college is something that you think about. And if like you're told, hey, there's like a college account for you, like work hard and you can get into any college you want. Like some families do that,
Yeah, they do. So that's just very unfortunate.
That is. Mason keeps messaging about how it's all your fault and just overall being nasty. I would have blocked him if it wasn't for the fact we are collecting evidence. My sister admitted he is ranting to her about it, but she doesn't want to get upset at her because they live just a few blocks from each other, so it's easier for him to come knocking on her door. Despite that, she will not be staying with me. My fence should be starting building any day now, and I will be getting my two doggos tomorrow. I think I have everything I need, so that's everything so far. That's like kind of crazy that this guy clearly has just been going down a crazy path. You know what's even crazier? Update 4.
There's no way there's more, man. Holy.
September 22nd. Hello, everyone. I'm sorry it's been a bit since I updated. Between the fence, the new doggos, and problems with Mason, I just didn't have time to update. So to start, I'm very sorry that I've forgotten my doggy tags. When I have time or remember, I'll post them on this profile. One's a pity and one's a German Shepherd. They're both high energy, but not what one would consider pups, though they're my pups. Next, thank you to everyone for your wonderful insights and ideas. I did pass along to my soon-to-be ex-sister-in-law about checking her children's credit. Oh, dude, that's so true.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I could have opened it up.
Yeah. I checked mine as well. The kids have smaller problems with their credit now, thanks to Mason. She locked down credit, and I sent Lawrence, my lawyer, fake name to speak with her, and he set her on a new path of wrecking Mason with one of his lawyer friends who specializes in that sort of thing. My credit was not touched, but I've locked it down, and I warned my sister of the same, but I haven't heard back. To clear up a few things quickly, my sister-in-law told me they were underwater on the house. I translated that to a reverse mortgage. Really, it's just them, like, taking out line of credits and stuff, because there was a big celebration years ago about them finally paying it off. When sister-in-law locked down her credit, she jumped through hoops and got several cards that she did not open shut down. I don't know the details, but it was done very quickly. Yes, several. Sorry for the confusion. I do want to apologize, but I wanted to keep things short. I won't be able to do much in terms of a trust fund for my nieces and nephews, unfortunately, but I am the trustee or overseer of the ones my mother has set up for them. Debating heavily on telling them / my sister-in-law because word might get back to Mason. I fronted 3 months worth of rent for my sister-in-law so she can get her own place so that the courts had no reason to look at her with suspicion. Mason's quickly going to lose the house, and I don't want any reason for her to chance her custody. Another reason I did that was so that she and the kids could get somewhere he didn't know about. All contacts now through lawyers. Mason went to her mother's house while they were all out of school, all out to a school function, and destroyed the place. That's crazy. They're still trying to figure out if anything was taken. Furniture, pictures, and decorations were smashed. Clothing, including his own kids, were shredded, and he threw mud all around the house. He popped tires on my sister-in-law's cars and threatened the neighbors.
Jesus Christ.
Dude, this went from, hey man, my family's a little mad that like there was some extra money, but like it all seems even, to, all right, so it turns out my brother just ruined his life. The neighbors called the cops, and there was a problem during the arrest. He and one of the cops were sent to the ER for stitches. How he managed bail money, I don't know, but I suspect he bullied our sister Brittany into it because she's been radio silent during all of this. I think he may have taken up staying with her. The house is going to be taken away any day now, and my sister-in-law is fighting to keep her car. That's what my sister-in-law told me. Mason has been nonstop messaging me and calling me. He even started a smear campaign on social media, getting our extended family to ream me out for not supporting a grieving man who had just lost his mother, his wife, his kids, his house, and his dignity. Oh my God. Dude, he did it to himself, minus the mother part.
Who knows?
No,
this guy.
No. It said cancer. When I spoke with them, it quickly became apparent he circulated one hell of a bull story that painted me as a wicked sister who stole everything from him, and that's why I could afford to do all the work on the house. Like, I had a drug problem and dried up everything he had for drugs, rehab, and more. All bull. Even after talking with them, not very many believe me. My fence is being built and the work on the house is still being done. I've added home security and a few hidden baseball bats because some of the DMs I got about what he could do scared me. I added extra locks around the house and I'm considering getting rid of the sliding doors or getting something to lock it like a gate. Lawrence warned me about putting too much going forward might harm my case of a restraining order and slander. So if I update it, it might not be for a while unless something wild happens. That's
Holy crap,
crazy.
Man. Yeah, that guy went from 0 to 100.
Dude, so fast. So much happened in 3 weeks. That's like the most upvoted comment. That's so true.
Like the fact that like that you just kept going. You're like, but wait, there's more. Like, holy.
That's That's crazy. I love that so much time focusing on Mason and not the potentially killer doll with human hair found in the deep freezer. Priorities, people.
Yeah, true.
Holy.
Well, that a cursed object and nobody's batting an eye. What is this?
Not to get sidetracked, but I'm still stuck on why Op's mom just hid coins, money, and antiques throughout the house. When my great-grandma died, they also found a bunch of bills she'd hide for safekeeping, but kept forgetting about in her old age. So I don't think it's too far-fetched to think it might have been something similar, but still, why? And then another comment was, so am I the only one without a lawyer friend? Did I miss that day in school or something? Actually, true. I don't have a lawyer friend either. Dang.
Sucks to suck. I got a lawyer friend.
What the heck? Oh, there's no posts. There's no post on the dogs. What a scam. There is one comment about that whole thing about the lists thing about like dogs. So remember when she was like, yeah, I gotta like clear a list first to like see if I can even get the dogs. Apparently there's a list of people who aren't allowed to adopt because of past behaviors. So they check that list, and then if they clear it, they get onto another list of like, okay, you can adopt a dog. Interesting.
So yeah, it's just a very like,
there's like
from
a
the outside not knowing that. Yeah.
On like, are you chill? Can you handle a dog? Have you messed up handling a dog in the past?
See, saying that instead of I gotta clear the did I murder dogs check, like it's like what the.
Yeah, it was like a very weird way to phrase it, but there was also a lot of weird ways to phrase things in this.
Oh, 100%.